あ、来た来た。で、今日はどうすんの？
if you somehow watched to the end or just skipped to the time code, you'll notice that I went through the whole process of basically learning how to pose this model relatively by myself. I did have a little bit of help from one of the Discord members for the Discord group I'm in. Basically, he told me how to change the circle sizes for the joints so they're not just all over the place like they were initially. That was really the only thing he really taught me. And once he told me how to do that, I was off to the races, as you can tell. Now again, this is my first pose, so it's not going to be as intricate as Shirley, because I'm not on the level that the guy that does the posing for me is at. He's on a whole nother level. But at least when it comes to the posing aspect of these models, from what I can tell, he actually does all that physically in Blender, which is a massive pain in the butt. With Maya, as long as the give me a second. With Maya, as long as the models have the actual bone data inside them, I should be able to use Maya to pose the characters myself. Now, of course, I'll still need him to go through and clean up the model and add in the formers. But the hard part, which is the posing of the model, is a lot more simplified if I can do it myself. Which means the turnaround time for these models should be a lot quicker than what they have been in the past. Now, I am still going to go in there and do some more manipulation. I'm not 100% satisfied with the hand right here. I need to put her finger in a little bit more, and I need to spread out the other fingers a little bit more too. Actually, yeah, I need to spread out the main four down here, and I need to bring the thumb in a little bit. I'm fairly happy with the other arm though. Oh, that's lovely. It has the exact same model mesh as the Ultimate Cross models. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to building the hands. But at least with this model, there's absolutely no legs for me to worry about. Which means what I stated initially for the RC conversion should be feasible. All I need to do is just make sure the whole superstructure is nice and sturdy up all the way up to the very top. Which shouldn't be too difficult, actually. But yeah, I'm very happy with the fact that I finally managed to pose my own freaking model for the first time ever. Again, I'll still need his help. Again, I'll still need my friend to clean the model up again. He knows I can't pronounce his name, and he's okay with that. But I still want to figure it out. But he knows who he is. But yeah, I finally freaking posed my first model, which I am very, very content with. Now, I thought I'll also end this video in showing how I had the background music running. Well, simply put, I had my 3DS up here. I had it piping its audio directly into the audio jack right here. And I have it currently on charge because, well, this was a buy off of eBay, and the battery on this thing isn't as good as it used to be. But yeah, over the next few days I will be cleaning up this model, or at least cleaning up the actual physical pose itself, and I'll leave the actual cleaning up of the model to my friend. And what I mean by cleaning up the model is how you can see this is phasing into each other. What the guy does in Blender after he does the posing is he actually goes into the model and actually fuses the parts that are phasing into each other. So let me bring in Shirley to show you what I mean. With Shirley, it's basically the same thing, but as you can tell, the parts aren't actually fused together, or are not fused. They're not phasing into each other like they are for Rinko. The guy went in there and physically cut and welded the meshes together again. That way, so when I actually go to build everything out, everything just connects as it should. But also talking about Shirley, I also did get some of the preparations for her face done, and I have it set up in a way to where I can basically build in parts. Like I build this section first, build this section first, then I build this section here, then I build this section here, and then I just build this whole section right here. So I do have this all planned out, and again, I'm going to be building one half at a time, and hopefully I'll be able to mirror what I did with this half to the other half here. And unfortunately, I don't really think I can really get away from that weird I forget what those stupid contraptions with these strings are called, but I can't get, for some reason or another, I can't really get rid of that look for these models. It's due to the way the mesh is actually physically designed. The guys over at YouTube Macross that do these models would have to completely rework the model mesh for the face for me to actually get to properly, for me to build it the way I want. But they're not going to do that because first off, it's their property, and second, it's not really meant to be converted into real life. They just put up with me. I'm fairly certain someone over there knows of me and actually knows what I do with these models, and they're putting up with it. But I really can't do any model manipulation. I'm not going to ask them to do rework the models just for me. But yeah. So yeah, what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to message the guy once I get this model fully fleshed out, or get the pose fully fleshed out to the way I truly like it, and then I'll message the guy saying, when you're ready, can you clean the model up and add the formers? And considering his scale, he can add a whole set of formers into this thing in like 15 minutes. Now, probably cleaning up the mesh will probably take a few hours. But again, I'm only basing off what off his scale set and whatnot. Again, I don't know how good he truly is, but from what I've seen, he's really damn good. So yeah, hopefully you found this video interesting, or at least interesting that I finally figured out a way to properly pose these godforsaken models on my own. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I forgot to mention in the process of building this figure. I also brought out my little Uno figure here so I can figure out the actual size, or not size, but figure out some of the actual placements of the arm and whatnot. And this figure has finally been useful for once. Mainly because for the most part, this thing's just been staying right next to my bed in its box for years now. And obviously I'm not going to pull this thing out of the box because this thing's stinking rare. And I already did damage her a little bit already. You can see a little bit of wear right there. So I really don't want to risk damaging more than she already has been. Because when I did initially buy her, I actually did have her out of the box a lot. But since she started getting a little bit of damage, I didn't want to take a chance with her anymore. So since I finally posed Rinko here and I got all that done, I'm going to put her back into her box. I might need to look into getting a bigger figure to actually work with if I can actually consistently use Maya to pose these figures. Like I said, it'll take the workload off my friend for these models if I can actually do the posing myself. So I might need to look into a model. I might need to look into some type of like 1 foot, 2 foot figure I can use to get the proper posing done and whatnot. Last thing I want to do is get a life size figure because the last thing I want to do is end up becoming on Dear Dev. We all know how garbage of a human he is.